Yeah.
Good morning, it's Mindset Explosion Season 2, episode number 64. This is actually take 2. Life with Aspergers. I'm interviewing Charlie Moorhouse today. So I've been looking forward to this one.
Yeah, me too. I've been looking forward to this ever since we agreed to do this.
Yeah, definitely. So you did it. Whoa! So we've had technical hitches like since.
It's the fun of it.
Yeah, it's all fun.
Yeah.
Tripod was about to go. So Charlie, you did a video and you talked quite openly. Yeah. It was very inspiring. I think I shared it on my own personal.
Yeah, you did.
Facebook.
Yeah, thank you for that.
No, pleasure. And so basically, it was like talking about your life with Aspergers.
Yeah.
And so let's just go back to the beginning of a sec, because I feel this is going to be quite an important video. You're training with us here at Cheltenham Martial Arts.
I am indeed, and I'm so happy I found you guys in the first place. So really happy, and it also been a year now since I started. Almost over a year now.
Is that? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because I started in September now. So 1 year anniversary since I joined here. So,
right. Yeah. So I thought it'd be a good opportunity because we actually have a lot of younger members dealing with things like autism and Aspergers themselves and different spectrums, different levels, and we thought this would be I think it's really nice what you did, because it helps people in those situations that you've been through, and a lot of parents, I guess. Sometimes I didn't really want to talk so much about the martial arts today, because that's not what the show's about. But I also I knew prior how impactful it can be with people of all ages.
Exactly.
So let's go right back.
Right.
So you were just talking a bit off camera. You said you don't remember being diagnosed, but your dad kind of remembers.
Yeah, I don't remember the actual diagnosis myself, but I do remember my dad telling me the story of how I got diagnosed. So like, it was pretty much like I went to nursery and like just being at home. Yeah. You know, let's say nursery. I would go there, and then the tutors there, they would say to my parents like how different I was, how I was like acting differently to them. Yeah. Like, this is before I got diagnosed. So so they said, oh, Charlie, he was like this today. He wasn't like playing with the kids as much. Blah blah blah. Yeah. Or he was doing his own thing today. So my parents were like, oh, okay, fine. And this went on for a while now. And so so then it was so for a while I was just doing my own thing compared to most kids. So that got the like alarm bell, not alarm bells, but like it got
thinking.
So my mum and dad, they got thinking, and so what happened was like eventually they said, shall we just test him for like some or diagnose him for something. So and like according to my dad, the test was I was told to stand on one leg, and then I'm not keen when I say this. This is
don't worry about it.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So I can imagine how the parents were like testing all their kids.
Yeah.
Basically,
I was standing on one leg, and then I forgot the word for it. The analyzer, like the evaluator. Yeah. She said, "Okay, now stand on the other leg," and I said, "No, I can't." And then she went, "Yep, Aspergers," and my parents went, "What?"
So, okay.
Basically, the answer apparently I gave was, well, if I try to stand on the other leg, then I will fall down, because I was standing on my right leg, and because my thought process back then was like, I need to keep this leg up in the air pretty much. Yeah. So if I try and raise this one, I'm going to fall down. And like, that's a rough, it's a silly story.
It's not really, it does make, when you've explained it that way.
So basically, so that was, I can't remember the exact age, roughly 5, I want to say, something like that. So I was diagnosed at a very, very young age.
So that's probably a good thing in a way.
Yeah, because the thing is, some people, I've talked to people who in their like 20s or 30s, and they're like, because I'm in student housing right now, I'm living with someone with Asperger's, and they said to me, I didn't get diagnosed until like a year ago, and I'm like, really? How is that possible? So it surprises me to this day how some people who are still in their 20s or like 30s, for example, and they are still not diagnosed, which is strange.
I guess it's whether people can notice those things. And so you went mainstream school.
Yeah, so I did primary, secondary school, pretty much. And bit of a tough environment, pretty much, I'd say, for someone like me. So, especially for those sorts of environments when you've got like rowdy kids there, you know, and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And like, so, because one of the things I was constantly aware, like throughout my like school life, for example, I was constantly wary of other kids' behaviours. So every class I went into, I was thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna go into this class with these kids, with this teacher. The kid's gonna act this way, which means the teacher's gonna act this way. They're gonna shout. So for most of my school life, I had my fingers in my ears, like literally like that all the time, pretty much, because I was so like jumped up and in my head all the time. I was trying to block the whole world out, pretty much.
Was it like a sensory overload? Or?
It was actually. It was. Yeah. You know, 'cause I don't mind noise, but it's like unauthorized noise, noise that's not meant to happen. Yeah. Pretty much. So
how did you have to learn to deal with that, or how do you cope with that now?
Luckily, I was blessed. Like, and this is the one thing I'm still grateful to this day. Was blessed with the best support that I could possibly get. Oh. I mean, from my family, from my like teachers, my teaching assistants. Like especially in secondary school, like that was a special measures school as well. Yeah. So they were going through some tough times, a lot of teacher turnarounds, and a lot of like rules changes. We had Ofstairs come in like 2 times a week or something like that because it was that bad, the kids. So luckily for me, I had this place I could go to in secondary school, and again, staff there was so amazing. Looking back, I don't laugh, but like looking back at just how I acted, pretty much, and because it would take I'm not kidding, it would take me a good 10 minutes just to get through the front door into the classroom, because I was so in my head, just worried about this type of teacher, this type of class, these type of children, and it was just such like the sense of being trapped as well for an hour.
So it must have been quite tiring for your school.
It was, like they were strained pretty much, and because I always had like wanted things my way. So for example, I didn't like supply teachers. I didn't like fire alarms, for example, as well. Because we must have had like fire alarms like 3 times a day at one point when I was in year. So that didn't work well for me. And so.
So did you find? Sorry, Charlie. Did you find you needed, like, if you knew exactly what was going to happen on that day, like a structure?
Yeah.
So like this is going to happen tomorrow. It's going to be a bit different. Would that have helped, or? Back
then, I didn't like plan changes out of the blue. Like now, I'm much more like calmer with it. But back then, I was like my routine pretty much. Like I'm going to this lesson with this teacher, pretty much, like all routine. So when they turn around to me and say, "Oh, now you're doing this class with this teacher," it was a bit of an overload for me.
So how do you cope with that now? Because that's quite interesting.
Yeah. So again, like, well, again, it was all down to like the massive support I had from my teaching assistants and all the support there. Like, because we had a center, like a place, pretty much, like specifically for people with learning difficulties, pretty much in our school. So that was a place I knew I could go to if I was just a bit, if it was too much, pretty much.
Was it like a sensory room? Or?
That was a separate thing, pretty much. Like, this was just like a learning support like place, a building, pretty much, in the school where I could just go to, where I could just do the work. Because like one of the things I would do is I'll just grab the work from the class and I'll just bring it over and I'll just go there pretty much. So I would spend a lot of time there, just doing work and just spending time with the support, and again, the staff there was so like I'm grateful, especially I was given my own personal teaching assistant called Gemma, and like she was honestly my guardian angel all the way through second. I'm not kidding. She was there for me, like even when I was breaking down, like I was just withdrawn, even when I was crying, trying to get into the classroom and all of that. Like she was, not just her, but like she was there for me most of the time, but just like everyone there. So I'm still grateful to this day for all that they've done, pretty much. And also to my family as well, like because living at home as well, like because my mum had to like adjust pretty much. She had to learn how to like parent someone, so it was a bit of a learning curve for her.
It's a bit of a culture shock when you have kids anyway. But
Exactly. So to find out that they have this like mindset pretty much. But like it was getting to a point where every like day I was putting on that uniform, you know, and like because of the school, it was we had to walk in through the front gates and they would close behind us, so it like that gave me a sense of like isolation and being trapped in there for 6 hours a day for 5 days a week, so every time I put on that uniform I'm just going this is just but the one mindset that I had, and this is something that I want people out there to like learn as well, is that the one mindset that I had, no matter what, even if I had my fingers in my ears, I was not listening to anyone. The one thing I kept thinking to myself was, think about where you'll be in like 5-10 years time. I was thinking to myself, all these children who are being disruptive, who are being rude, obnoxious, who are annoying the teachers, where are they gonna be compared to where you're gonna be? Because you are focused, you want to do the work, you are actually here to learn, you are on task, and you are focused on what you want to do. So you will get what you want, where you want to go, pretty much. These kids, like, they are not going to get where they want to go because they aren't putting in the effort. So that was the one mindset that kept me going through those tough times, through primary, secondary school, was the fact that I knew that I was going to get where I wanted to go because I was putting in the hard work and effort where those kids weren't, pretty much.
Well, that's amazing, because Tyler, you're studying policing.
I am, yes. I'm currently on my, I had a little bit of a, before I did uni now, I did 3 years of public services at college in Gloucester. Okay. So very brief about that. So that was 3 years. So that helped me come out of my shell a bit more, because that was more physical, fitness based, pretty much. That was more independent learning, pretty much. So that was a bit of a grow up moment for me, where I had to like learn to do most of the work by myself, do most of the fitness by myself, pretty much. And again, like, all the tutors and staff there were so like lovely and helpful and supportive. I got on very well with them. Still a few rough areas with a few like students there in college, which I really like. I had some really not nice moments there, especially with a few trips. But it really did help me. So finally, when I came to uni, it was honestly, coming to Cheltenham like 3 years ago was one of the best things that could have happened to me, pretty much, starting uni, because I still remember to this day like being dropped off at halls and my parents waving goodbye to me because of the history that I had and all of that. My mum was just thinking, oh my god, is he gonna be okay? Like,
I bet she was.
She was bricking it. She was thinking he's gonna have to wash by himself, cook by himself, live by himself, all these things. You know, and of course, because it was shared student accommodation as well, like I could have literally ended up with anyone. I could have ended up with a rowdy bunch of boys, which I didn't get along with, which could have not been good for me. But thankfully, I was blessed to be like sharing accommodation with the best, like the utter best group of people. Like I could have been given, like the best bunch of like flatmates I could have had. Like they were there supporting me. They were accepted who I was, you know, and I like that first year was one of the best experiences of my life. So if I could say one thing, thank you. You know who you are, and thank you very much for that first year, pretty much. So.
I think it's a lot down to you as well, Charlie. Because I wasn't going to say, but in the class, when I've observed you in class, and you're very much part of it.
Yeah.
You know, like, I think everyone loves you here, and you're part of that. You kind of, you've learnt somehow to become part of the environments that you want to be part of, I guess. So.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I've just learned to, now especially, I've just learned to just embrace like the moments that I enjoy, because I said it in one of my videos. One of my life mottos is, life to me is about making memories with the people that you hold close to you, pretty much. So that's why when I'm like doing a class or something, I'm not thinking, what am I doing tomorrow? What am I doing next week? Pretty much, you know, because the more you think about what you've got to do next, the more you're not thinking of living in the moment now, pretty much. Yeah. So that's why I'm just like always embracing the moment and the people that I get to like make these memories with, because it's much better to create memories like and share it with people that you hold close to you. Like, it's one thing to like do something by yourself, but I find it much more like worthwhile to enjoy these magical moments with people that I hold close to me.
Yeah,
so.
And you have, because I think you've got your independence.
I have,
and because you got your independence, it made it. What I've observed just over time as an instructor, when people are more independent within themselves, then they find it easy to make friends. Yeah, and they enjoy it. They can work together with people as well. And you're dancing as well, right? Is it salsa?
Salsa. Yeah, I'm salsa dancing. Yeah, and that's that's another group of like people who I'm so happy that I got to meet. You know, back then, like back when I was young, you know, still in my dark times, I didn't have that many friends, you know, because like Lydney is like such a small, tight-knit community, so I didn't have that many friends back then. So to look back at just how big my circle of friends has gotten, like since coming to Cheltenham, like it's been so wonderful. And it's been a year now since I've done salsa as well, so that is. So they can rate me all the instructors and all the level 3 people. They can judge me on how good I am. Like I just go there to have fun.
I don't know about dance, but from our point of view, like you're clearly enjoying yourself.
Yeah, for me, salsa isn't about like proving how good I am. Yeah. It's about having fun. Like that's why I go there with a smile on my face, like not to show off or anything like that. I just go there to have fun, you know, do a bit of dancing, you know, meet some people, you know, and that's it pretty much. And again, they've been supportive of me as well, ever since I've met them, and they've always, you know, are happy to see me. And again, like I wouldn't be here without them, so like they deserve a huge shout out as well. So thank you for a lovely year of like salsa dancing, I guess I could say.
Just think about it, Charlie. Have you got any? I guess everyone's different, right? Every child is different, every adult's different, and everyone on this spectrum is going to be different as well. But have you got tips for people that maybe don't understand whether it be Aspergers or autism? Like, what tips would you give those people on how to deal with someone that has Aspergers, or is it?
I would say, don't, because I always had this mindset, and that is, don't think about your Aspergers or autism or anything like that as a curse. Do not. This is life's gift to you. It is part of your identity, pretty much. It makes you who you are. So never have any doubts about it. And just be grateful for the people who will accept you for who you are, and will be supportive of you and will be there for you. So never think that there's nobody around who's going to not be there for you, who's not going to understand, because there is, because in secondary school I had the best learning support staff. I had and the best family as well, who was constantly there for me, who was trying to make me the best of who I could possibly be. So you are always surrounded by people who are willing to listen. That's what I've learned. So, and again, if you're unsure, just ask someone,
People.
Yeah, that's
but do you know what? What you've just said is so impactful, I think, for everybody, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
because you are who you are.
Because I know what it's like to be at that young age, to be unsure, of and not knowing of who you are, not finding your identity, pretty much, and just having these doubts. So that's why, looking back at just the support, the family, the friends that I've had who's helped me over these years, and where I am now, it's just so amazing to me. So if I could this is my message to those people out there. Just never think about you don't have people who won't support you, because you do. And even just ask, if it could be literally anyone. It could be a friend, it could be a family member, it could be a teacher, anything. If you have questions, just say, because that's what I still do it to this day. I still ask questions to people, so
you could always seek the answer, right? Someone hasn't got the answer, they need to find it, but there'll be someone else with it.
There's always an answer out there. It's just a matter of finding it.
Yeah.
So
Perfect.
Amazing.
Gonna have to, before we finish up, got to talk about your martial arts, Charlie.
Yes, exactly.
What belt are we on now?
We're on blue belt.
Blue belt, and you're doing your next grading for
purple, should be
purple, but you're raising some money. Is that right?
Right. So basically,
so that means we got to make it extra hard for you.
You can if you want. You can if you want. Yeah. So basically, it's children in need this month, but because my next grading is in December, it's going to be kind of late, but I don't care. I want to do this so bad. So basically, part of the reason why I did these videos, in my very first video I did, I wanted to do this for children in need. So this has been my main goal now the past few weeks or so, to raise money for children in need. So that for my next grading, I want to get sponsored. So if people want to, I've got sponsor forms, and people can sponsor me, even if it's a penny, I don't care. It can be as little as they want.
I think Michelle's just writing down all the extra things you're now going to have to do in order to get that extra sponsorship.
Yeah, I've got access to sponsor forms, so if people want to sponsor, they can message me, and I can give them a sponsor form.
Donate. Do yourself another video.
Because the thing to me is, when I do that grading, and hypothetically, if I get that purple belt, it's not going to be my belt, it's going to be our belt. So if I pass and I get that purple belt, every time I put that belt on, that purple belt, I'm going to be thinking, this is our belt, the belt that I got because of the many people who helped me, pretty much. So I'll make this clear. If you want to sponsor me, give me a message, and I'll happily give you a sponsor form that you can sign. And it doesn't matter how little you donate. It all goes to a good cause. Definitely. And it'll be one step closer to our belt, not my belt, our belt. Pretty much.
Just one last thing. So how do you feel martial arts has helped you?
Massively.
Yeah.
I came here. I came here for the fitness, but mostly it's been good for me mentally as well, because I like the mental pressure and the focus, pretty much. Yeah. So I'd say, if anyone, give it a try. Come down and see what it's like, because it's really good.
Was you nervous before coming in?
Yeah, because I literally found it by myself. I literally just Googled, because just wanted something different from the gym, so I had no idea what I was getting myself into. And the funny story, everyone knows this, so I had my first grading session after I got my first lesson. So I came in, had my trial, which was just like have a look around and see what it was like. Came in, had my first class, and I think, okay, fine. So I came in the next day thinking, okay, it's another hour. Then I was just thrown straight into grading, and I passed. So, yeah.
Yeah, first one is quite a special one.
That was a bit of a shock to the system. But yeah, like martial arts has been really good for me, like physically and mentally, and all the staff here are like hugely like supportive and A-star. So I'm happy that they've like helped me push myself and just like develop my character, not personality, just develop me pretty much.
Here we inspire each other, so we're equally
Absolutely.
inspired by you guys training. So
Much appreciated. It's been so lovely.
all right, we're gonna have to finish up there, Charlie.
Yeah.
That's been such a great chat. I'm
No,
probably gonna
absolutely.
get you back in at some point.
I'd love to come
yeah?
back at some point.
Oh, have you got a YouTube channel? Do you say or?
No,
not quite
I'm thinking about it, but I've got Facebook, so I'm gonna be making more videos hopefully in the future about Aspergers on my personal Facebook page, so people can check those out. So.
Brilliant. Well, wish you all the best. Definitely going to please in, and of course, I can't wait for your next grading.
Absolutely, yes, it's going to be so good. Looking forward to it.
All right, everyone. Thank you very much. So peace, love, and we'll see you for the next video. Bye.
Thank you.